Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Now, there's still time to apply to be a part of the undergraduate and postgraduate programs in French, Spanish, linguistics, and interpreting techniques at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. This morning, I have the instructor of academic literacies program, Rhoda Barrett, joining us on set, representing the Department of Modern Studies and Linguistics. Good morning to you, Rhoda.
Hi, morning. How are you doing, Remy? How are you doing, Natasha?
I'm good, man.
Okay.
Grateful to be here and looking forward to this conversation, I think, in particular.
Well, real fast, I want to know what's going on in UE. So tell me about the postgraduate diploma in teaching English to speakers of some other language.
All right. So the first thing I want to say is the department is Modern Languages and Linguistics.
Mm-hmm. Modern languages.
Yes,
and linguistics.
Modern Languages and Linguistics, and the department covers, all of the languages that you could want to be learning. Whether it is through the literature or through the language, just learning the language alone, because under our department falls, well, let me not say under the department falls, we work alongside the Center for Language Learning, where you can learn a range of languages, Yoruba, Japanese, French, Spanish, Portuguese, a range of languages. And then, of course, with the degree programs, you can be doing degrees in French, Spanish, and minoring in Portuguese as well, right? And of course, there are other aspects of the program like linguistics, right? Good. So TESOL. So Remy, let us go back in time, because you and I roughly about the same age, right?
You think so? That's cute. Go ahead.
Roughly about the same
Go
age.
ahead, roughly.
Your beard and my hair. Right. You're roughly about the same age.
Love it.
So let's say late decade of the past century, because I've thrown that out at my students. Yeah, exactly. I throw that out at my students all the time.
Right.
That I was born in and came into adulthood in the last century. So when I started talk, I talk about turn of the century, and people just be clutching their pearls. So you finish secondary school, and you're ready to move on to other things. And when you're a young man or young woman, you want to see the world.
Right.
You want to experience the world. Right? I mean, when we're in secondary school here, we're hearing so much about other places. One of the great ways to be able to experience other places, because remember now everybody had a pocket to just go and backpack all over the place, right? One of the great ways to be able to do this is through TESOL. So you have to have a first degree. You have to have your first degree before you can go into the TESOL program, because it is a postgraduate program. It's a one-year program. 2 semesters. So that's 12 weeks and 12 weeks, 2 semesters. And once you have done that program, because it gives you a background in linguistics, it gives you a background in education, it shows you how to go about teaching the language, the English language, to people who are either non-native speakers or are familiar with the language but not competent with the language, right? So you have that diploma in hand, and there are a range of programs you can apply through, international programs that will hire you to teach English.
Like JET?
Similar to JET in other countries.
In order to do the postgraduate diploma, do you need to already have a degree in teaching or in English?
No,
or in...
no. You don't need to have a degree in teaching or in English. It would be helpful.
Right.
Because, of course, when you get into the postgraduate program, there are courses that you'll be doing where the material will be familiar. What I have noticed, the trend that I have noticed, is that a lot of students that have done literatures in English or that have done linguistics, they tend to go on to do the TESOL program.
Right.
But you can easily have degrees in other languages and other degree programs in our department.
It has to be from the department, though. I can't come with like a biology degree and then decide to do this.
Boy, you're asking me a hard question then now, because I'm thinking to myself, let me tell you why I'm saying it's a hard question. You have students that are very creative.
Yeah.
They'll sign up to do a biology major. And you always have electives in your program. So if they pick up an elective in my faculty, because it's very possible to be in sciences but pick up an elective in another faculty elsewhere, right? Yeah. If they do those things, and they have the right electives, they could get into the diploma program.
Okay. So it's about the courses you would have done before.
Right. So it is about the courses that you would have done before, and you can get into the program. And once you've gotten into that program, after 1 year, you can then, through the various organizations that are associated with TESOL, seek employment in other parts of the world.
That's absolutely fantastic.
It
And
is.
It's something that we need here in Trinidad and Tobago especially. There was a time where people saw these things happening maybe just through or heard about it word of mouth but didn't have access. So the fact that UWI has said, hey, here you go, it's your time, get it done, that's so important. But one of the things that you've mentioned quite a lot, of course, is linguistics.
Yes.
And linguistics can be a kind of interesting word to wrap your head around, and also for career paths as well. So can you tell us what some of the career paths we can look into if we do
With respect to linguistics, there are a range of things. You can get into teaching, right? Especially if you have, if let's say your major is, linguistics, but you've picked up some literatures and English courses, that makes you absolutely suitable to enter into teaching, certainly in our public sector teaching service. With linguistics, because it is the study of languages, any of the other fields that ask you for language competency as a degree. So journalism, right? You can end up in journalism, you could end up in communications and marketing. But again,
I find you saying end up.
sorry.
Like you can't choose to do that too.
You choose
No. Well, you know what? Thanks for correcting my language choice there.
Ah, boy.
Thanks.
As we dealing with linguistics
As we
now,
deal
boy.
with linguistics,
You know?
thanks for pointing out my diction error there. So end up is the incorrect word to use. I guess I'm slipping into the Creole. Right, so let me slip back out of the Creole.
Go back in professor mode. Go ahead.
Let me try, right? Let me try. Let me make an effort. Because you know, whenever I see cameras, it's not necessarily professor mode I'd be thinking of, right? Classroom of
You're
students.
baiting, eh? You're baiting. Go ahead.
I'm trying to see how I could get you to cause problems this morning and then pull back and say, recusal. So with a linguistics degree, because I want anybody listening to understand this, because people tend to think that it's only teaching you can get into.
Right.
Same when I was an undergraduate student in the last century, and I did literature and history, people thought, well, what you could do with that? All you could do with that is teach. And I was like, no, because that's not how I viewed a degree program.
Right.
I felt that a degree program for me was like, when you land up in another country and you have your passport, you have your credit card, and you have your smartphone with data on it, you could do pretty much anything you want to do. So I saw the degree as a tool. Right? So I had a degree in that, in literature and history, and went on to use the skills from that degree to do a range of things, to try a range of things. Linguistics gives you that potential as well. It teaches you a certain amount of discipline in terms of analyzing a language, any language system. You could decide after you have done an undergraduate degree in linguistics that you want to go on to do anthropology.
Nice.
Okay.
Because linguistics is an area of anthropology where you're studying the language of cultures and you're looking at how the language of cultures would have led to certain things. You can do a degree in linguistics and then go on to do work in areas like gender and gender studies, because you're also looking at how language impacts on how people interact with each other. I mean, one of the raging dialogues we've had in the last however many years would be gender, how men and women speak to each other, how men use language versus how women use language, right? And how those things lead to power and shift in power. A degree in linguistics can aid you in work like that.
Yeah, I understand that you guys have an open day coming up soon.
The open day, to the best of my knowledge, was early on in July.
It gone already?
Yes,
Oh,
so I was supposed to be here
to talk about the open day.
to talk about the open day.
So what
just
usually
before.
happens at this open day?
At that open day, you will there will be representatives from all of the programs.
Right.
And you can talk to people from the range of programs and, of course, find out about funding, because
It's a key element.
which is a huge element for students, right? Because students always want to know, can I afford this degree? And, of course, what can I go on to do? The first question you asked me was, what can I do with this degree
Well,
once
after
you've
you
had
spend the money, you want to get back a job.
You want to be, yes, you want to be able to work. I want anyone who's doing a degree, though, to understand this. Yes, you can come and do this degree, and this is, because we've just talked about the range of jobs that you can do, but don't pigeonhole yourself.
Yep.
Because there are a range of things that you can get into. The other thing I would tell any student, and I tell students this all the time, when you come into the program, when you come into a degree program, of course, focus on your degree program, but pick up electives that enhance your degree program. So there are a range of things that you can touch on, dabble in, get experience, and then of course it expands your world. You don't have to be entirely focused only on your degree option. Touch a range of things. But there's something I wanted to get back to, and my brain's up.
30 seconds.
Funding, sorry, funding. We still have GATE.
Right.
We still have bursaries. We still have grants. You see that fancy fete we just have every carnival.
The two of them, they do it now.
Right, exactly. Two, and we had to do the two fete. We throw in, listen, them two fete we throw in is a fundraiser, you know. People don't, not everybody doesn't know that.
We just tell them here, don't
Well,
we?
good. I'm glad that you just be promoting the message. But those two fetes that the university throws are really endowment funds. And so the money that is raised from those fetes allow students to be able to get bursaries to attend the University of the West Indies. So funding is available, the degrees are there, please come.
And they can head across to the website to get more information, yeah?
Yes, yes.
UWI.edu.
www.uwi.edu.
Right, perfect. Rhoda, thank you so much for joining us
You're
this
welcome.
morning.
You're welcome.
And everybody go check it out and see what's going on at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus, especially inside the Department of Modern Languages and Linguistics. All right, so on behalf of Natasha Lake and Kimberly D'Souza, I want to wish you a fantastic day. Remember to go out there and make a difference today now, because together we aspire, and if together we perspire, then together we can definitely achieve. First team is up at 8:30 p.m. DK is next with your major network news. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.